Good morning from beautiful San Miguel Allende. I thought I'd take a moment to share this thought about why I haven't quit my job to travel. And it's kind of an unpopular idea, I think, because what I've been seeing about a lot of the videos, and I'm not saying um, that anyone is doing slow travel wrong. I'm just saying for me, I just couldn't figure out what it is would be the right fit. And that's what um, my sweetheart and I have been figuring out how slow travel is gonna look on us. And I think it may take, trial and error. So I just turned 60 a few days ago. What do you think? It's so nice that I've been complimented that I look younger, but I always say there's that joke about how Asian people, like, we don't always show wrinkles in the corners of our eyes or have crow's feet, but then all of a sudden, like, we'll wake up one day and we'll shrivel like raisins. But anyways, um, in terms of slow travel, you see these videos where people have just totally uprooted their lives and they've sold their house. They're looking for the perfect city on which they want to settle in, so they uproot themselves from family, and that's kind of tough when you're in your 60s, or over 50, because often we are the sandwich generation where, like in my case, my mom is still out there line dancing. She's living her best life. And but there's times when like, she's old school. She's not gonna call a taxi. It'll be raining in Vancouver. And so basically, my role is to be like daughter Uber. And so we're kind of this sandwich generation, and you want to be able to be there for your parents. And for about 20 years of my life, I moved away from my hometown, and my parents were younger then, and they were fine. And it's unfortunate that I ended up divorced, but I was happy to come back to my hometown. And I always liked the idea of retiring back to Vancouver. It's such a beautiful city, which I appreciate more as I travel the world to see. Oh my goodness, I have ended up in one of the best places to retire. And sometimes you don't recognize that till you go out and travel the world. So, anyways, about the sandwich generation is you may not want to do the kind of slow travel where you quit and are away for long periods of time, whether your visa in a country allows you to be away for 3 months or 6 months or whatever. I understand that for some people, that also the idea where you can work from abroad, that just sounds horrible for me. I'm either all traveling or not. So, being in a beautiful city, but then having to make deadlines, for me, that doesn't work. So, what I've figured out instead, and this is only like, I'm just starting it out, so we'll see how these vlogs go along to see how our slow travel. This kind of slow travel I'm embracing, and it's not exactly like fire, which is where young people are like, saving, 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 working super duper hard. No, I still want to be able to enjoy my cup of coffee out when I feel like it. I don't want to have to like scrimp on life, and I haven't had to do that. So the other thing though is I do recognize the march of time, and so um, this is going to be an interesting year. This is birthday year. I love the concept of birthday year. This came from my friend Reggie from the Soul Linettes community, and he celebrates the whole year. So I thought that is a fabulous idea. So just this idea of, with slow travel, how it's going to look for me, and it may work for you if you've also been looking at this kind of lifestyle, is, could I keep working? Because I love, 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 love my job. I would say, let's see, the year was 2001, 9/11. When 9/11 happened, I had a corporate job where I was making top dollar. I was, had reached what I felt for me was top of my profession. I was in the senior management pool in a corporate job. And when 9/11 happened, and I was based right in the epicenter in Washington, D.C., I feel like at that moment I did a lot of kind of a mini retirement. I just went boop. Our house We had worked hard to renovate, kept our expenses low, and we were able to pay it off. So at that time, I was fortunate enough because we put a priority on that where we could live off one income. My husband went to school, and then we lived off my corporate income. So for a few years, um, the corporate job, well, while he was going to graduate school, it was a 1 year program. So we learned to live off one income, and that just like opened up the door because when 9/11 happened, I quit my corporate job. And so at that time, I flipped to gardening. And so I love, love, love my job. So where I see sort of this push to like quit your job, like my sweetie didn't retire till last year. And that's because he loved what he did. And actually, he's still serving on boards and things like that. And he loves his job. So if you love your job, you don't have to do what the rest of the internet is suggesting, which is why aren't you retiring early? Some people find that they retire early and then what do they do with their time? Some people don't have hobbies. And then there's other people that are like, they're just busy, busy, busy. And that is one thing though. I do see with people that retire that um, nobody, it seems like no one has regrets. Everyone loves retiring when they do. But for me right now, I really enjoy my job. But what I did do differently this year is by about um, midsummer, I started backing off on some of my responsibilities, and I started to train others to do my job. And I know that sounds sort of obvious, but I'm very particular and I'm very hard on my staff because I like things done a particular way. And so I had to let go of a few perfectionist tendencies. So, not so much just in terms of perfection, letting go of standards, but I think it's like just knowing that there are a few things at your age doesn't mean that I'm better than them by all means, but I do have more miles under my belt. So if I've been doing this gardening career for over 20 years, that means I can see things quickly. And so I had to kind of like back off a little bit in terms of like when I'm away for a day, a week, what will the place look like? And if they miss certain things, not to be as hard. So I really thank my staff for like these gals, they're amazing. So anyways, about the job thing is don't feel you need to quit your job if you love it or you enjoy it. Or my friend that's a school teacher, she enjoyed interacting with young people. She just said young people give her great energy, but there are, with any job, including my job, a job I love. So, something for you to think about is if you have a job you love, it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with like pressures or things you want. I'm terrible at paperwork. So, that's one of the things that the staff has done for me is taken on paperwork. But, you know, see if you can back off a little on your job or go to like a little bit part time or anything like that. And that's different than like, I'm going to sell my house to afford to slow travel. If I keep working, then that means that we don't have to backpack through these countries that we want to travel to. So that's something to think about. And that is why I haven't quit my job to slow travel. But I'd love to hear from you to see your thoughts on how you're approaching pre-retirement, slow travel, that kind of thing. So to just round off what's happening is the slow travel formula that we're using is to do it in 3 to 4 week periods, and we probably will be doing this maybe quarterly. So this trip, for example, we're away for 3 weeks, and is it the most affordable way to do it? I don't know, maybe not, but it is certainly enjoyable because we experimented with Vietnam and Thailand, and I'm not saying it was a disaster. It was fabulous. Oh, do you hear that? so many beautiful church bells. Um, but, like the first leg of our slow travel kicked off with my sweetie's. Um, his birthday is we went to Vietnam, Thailand, Korea, and it was just an awesome, awesome trip. But it was really fast paced. In this case, we just said, because I was working, he was working, is we're going to have some organized tours. And I'd say we were caught by surprise on a few of them because we're so busy we didn't look over the itinerary to realize, oh my goodness, we're going to hop on a bus, go 2 hours away, and then another 2 hours. So we had several exhausting travel days that by the end of that trip, which was, I think, about 3.5 weeks, um, we were either on planes or buses. There was a lot of travel time that we hadn't anticipated. So that was a good test. I think what we'd do again would be to take advantage of definitely guided travel where someone books your hotels, but we would look and tours and finds reputable people to do that. That's fantastic. You do pay a price for that, but worth it. And then in this case, we decided, okay, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to spend a week in like 3 different cities in Mexico. Um, and we would spend Christmas away. And so it was fabulous. So far it's been fabulous. I'm midway through this experiment, which is slow travel a week. Now, a week sounds very, very rushed for people. But for us, we being in San Miguel de Allende has meant that we didn't have to rush around um, to see all the sights. We could certainly sign up for tours that would take us out of town, but we've chosen instead to this is a walkie, awesome, sort of like beautiful surprises in every corner. And it's been an awesome way to try out slow travel. So I wish you well. More to come as we keep traveling. And let me see if I can show you some of the view here. Oh, it's a little fuzzy, but hang on, let me get up. If you're still here, I'm going to show you these poinsettias. Let's see. Can you see it? Let me see. I'm hoping you'll get to see it. There's poinsettias, but they're mixed in with the tropical house plants. Oh, and there's ice plant. And then let me just show you the view before we sign off. Okay, here you go. See you later.